Imagine this. Your kid goes out to play football, and then they just don't come home. Not that night, not the next morning, not for 1, 2, 3 days. For 18 days they vanish. This really happened. Thailand, 2018, 12 boys, 1 young coach, swallowed by a mountain. No food, no light, no way out. Kilometers underground in total darkness. And behind them, black water rising fast, sealing the only exit shut. Some of the best divers on Earth showed up, and they all said the same thing. Getting these kids out alive was impossible. The plan they finally used? It had never been attempted in human history, and one rescuer would not make it home. This is the Tham Luang cave rescue, but I'm telling it a different way. Not just what happened, but how 12 kids stayed sane in a place built to break them. Stick with me till the end, because how they came out is the most insane part of all. It starts on June 23, 2018, northern Thailand, a hot afternoon. A youth football team finishes practice. They call themselves the Wild Boars, 12 boys, aged 11 to 16. One of them has a birthday coming up. So they make a fun plan. Explore the cave, just for an hour. The Tham Luang cave, 10 kilometers long, carved into limestone. Beautiful, famous, and in monsoon season, a death trap. But they don't know that yet. They lean their bikes and bags at the entrance and walk in with almost nothing, just a few torches. The coach, Ekapal, is only 25. He knows this cave. He's been deep inside before, so nobody's worried. 1 hour in, 1 hour out. Home before dinner. That's the whole plan. But while they're laughing in the dark, something is happening outside that they can't see. The sky opens up. Heavy early monsoon rain weeks ahead of schedule. And this cave has a deadly design. When it rains, water floods in from the mountain above. It fills the tunnels fast, floor to ceiling, with no warning at all. Deep inside, the boys hear nothing. They just feel the water start to rise. They try to walk back the way they came, and the path is gone, underwater. So they go deeper, climbing higher, chasing the last bit of dry ground. Meanwhile, outside, the parents are getting scared. It's late. The kids aren't home. Phones go straight to nothing. No signal, no answer, just silence. Someone checks the football club, and the truth lands like a punch. The boys went to Tham Luang, the cave, the one that floods every single year. The families race there, and they find it bikes and bags, lined up at the mouth, which means the boys are still inside, and the entrance is now filling with water. Rescue teams arrive that night. They push in and hit a wall of black water. The air is thin, breathing is hard, and the flood keeps pouring from the peaks. By 1 a.m., they deliver the worst news. We can't go further. We don't have the gear. If those kids are alive in there, they have to survive the night completely alone. At sunrise, the operation explodes in size. Giant pumps roll in to drain the cave. They pump out millions of liters. And the water level barely moves. It's winning. Now the map becomes everything. Some parts of the cave are deep and drowned, but some spots sit high. Ledges, mounds, places the water might not reach. And that's the only hope, that the boys found one of those high spots in time. There's one they circle on the map, a raised bank far inside called Pattaya Beach, but it's over 4 kilometers from the entrance. 4 kilometers of flooded tunnel. Thailand sends in its Navy SEALs elite divers who've done hard missions before, but even they hit a problem nobody expected. This isn't ocean diving, it's cave diving. The water is thick brown mud, zero visibility. At times they can't see their own hands. The passage is narrow to almost nothing. One wrong turn and you don't come back. So they lay a guide rope as they go, just to find their way out again. Day after day they claw forward a few hundred meters at a time. It's brutal. And at the boys spot total darkness, total isolation, no food, no rescue in sight. This is where the story usually skips ahead, but this is the part that matters most. Because 12 starving kids trapped in the dark should have fallen apart. Panic, fights, despair. That's what fear does to people underground. But the coach, Ekapal, had once trained as a Buddhist monk, and he used that. Every day he taught the boys to meditate, to slow their breathing, to stay calm. It kept their minds quiet. It saved their oxygen. It stopped the fear from eating them. He told them to drink only the clean water dripping off the rock, never the flood. He gave the youngest boys comfort. He kept the group together. That mindset is the reason they were still breathing when help finally arrived. Outside, the world had noticed. International media set up camp at the cave. Every moment went out live. Billions of people started watching, praying, waiting. Divers flew in from everywhere, and the plan sharpened drain from more entry points. They cleared the first 800 meters and built a forward base. Chamber 3, oxygen tanks, gear, food, all hauled to Chamber 3. This was now the launch pad. 10 days in, British cave diving experts, the best alive, push toward Pattaya Beach. They surface at the spot everyone's been betting on, and it's empty. No one there. Their hearts sink. But one diver decides to go just a little further. He rounds a corner, finds dry ground, then a smell, then voices, and there they are, all 13, alive. 10 days with no food and alive. The boys blink into the light and start counting. How many of you? 13. That clip races around the world. The whole planet exhales at once. They're alive. For the parents outside, 10 days of pure terror lift in a single second. But the divers know a hard truth. Finding them was the easy part. Getting them out, that's the nightmare. Because the way in nearly killed the experts. It took the best divers on Earth days to reach this spot in that mud and dark. And these boys are weak, starving, and can't swim through flooded tunnels. First, they send food. Then a doctor dives in to check every single child. The boys explain what they lost. Their snacks were washed away when the water hit. And they explain how they held on. The coach, the meditation, the dripping water. But the divers measure the air, and it's dropping. Oxygen inside is falling fast. If it drops much more, the boys start dying one by one. The clock is now real. So teams begin the insane job of dragging heavy oxygen tanks all the way in. Tank by tank, dive by dive, through 4 kilometers of underwater tunnel. And on day 14, the danger becomes real in the worst way possible. A former Thai Navy SEAL, Saman Kunan, is placing tanks along the route. On his way back, he runs out of air in the black water. He doesn't make it. A volunteer, a rescuer, gone trying to save children he'd never met. It shakes everyone. Because if a trained SEAL can die on this route, how do you send 12 exhausted kids through the exact same water? Now the team faces the impossible question. How do you get them out at all? Idea 1. Drill down from the mountain above. But that could take a month. And one crack in the wrong place could collapse the cave onto the boys. Idea 2. Wait for monsoon to end. But that's 2 more months of rising water. Then the weather report lands. A massive storm is coming within days. More rain means the cave floods completely. And then no one comes out. Ever. Waiting is now a death sentence. They have to move before the storm hits. Which leaves one option. The one everyone was afraid to say out loud. Dive the boys out. Through the water that already killed a grown expert. But a scared, thrashing child underwater would drown himself and his rescuer. So they land on a plan so radical it sounds like fiction. And they all agree. July 10, 2018. Day 18. Australian doctor and diver Richard Harris goes in, and one by one he does the unthinkable. He puts each boy under anesthetic, fully sedated, asleep. So they can't panic, can't fight, can't feel the fear. Each boy gets a full face mask, sealed tight, feeding pure oxygen through a pipe. Then a diver takes one sleeping child and starts the hour-long journey out, through gaps just 2 feet wide, through mud you can't see through, cradling a life. Nobody had ever brought children out of a cave like this. Nobody knew if it'd work. The first day, 4 boys come out alive. 4. The plan is actually working. Oxygen tanks are refilled overnight, a 10-hour job, and they go again. Day 2. 4 more boys, carried out sleeping, one at a time, all alive. And on the final day, day 18, the last 4 boys and their coach come out. All 13. Every single one. Alive. Against everything the experts predicted, the mission the whole world called impossible was done. But it came at a cost. Saman Kunan gave his life so those kids could see the sun. A statue now stands at the cave in his honor, the man who didn't come back. So what actually saved them? The divers, yes. The doctors, yes. The world, yes. But also a calm young coach who taught scared kids to just breathe. 18 days, no food, total darkness, and they walked out because they stayed calm. If this gave you chills, do one thing, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I've got more real survival stories that sound impossible but actually happened. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.